So Microsoft has acquired Activision. This also naturally means that they acquire all of their IPs that Activision has owned, which in this case, this includes Skylanders.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
But do not celebrate anything yet, simply just for the fact that Activision has so many IPs, and I've seen so many people getting excited about this, right? They're getting excited over the fact like, oh, maybe this means a new Skylander game. But the harsh reality of it is, I think I need to crush everybody's dreams a little bit and bring us back to reality.
It's Crush Hour!
Just because Microsoft has acquired the IP of Skylanders doesn't really mean anything at all. Is it good? Yes, I think that is great, because I would absolutely rather Microsoft or, Xbox have the reign over Skylanders rather than, Activision. Microsoft, I think, for the most part, takes care of IPs pretty well, way better than Activision. I think they give them way more respect for the most part. But the issue is Xbox also has the case of buying a lot of IPs, but not using them. Similar kind of Activision way, but again, anything is better than Activision. Anything is better than Activision. But an example of this is I like to consider Conker or Banjo. Like, Conker really hasn't had anything. There was apparently some VR game in 2016, but I don't really count that because I don't think that was actually a real full thing. And then like Banjo, for example, they acquired Rare, which, they had Banjo, and what have they done with Banjo? Not really much. He got into Smash Bros, but that wasn't them. That was just his inclusion. Like, they obviously ported all the games to the Xbox 360, so just the first two, obviously. And then they made one extra game, Nuts and Bolts. Which, honestly, I think Skylanders is a very similar, it's kiddish. I think it falls under the same category of they have all these IPs, but that doesn't mean they need to use them. Because I think the main thing with purchasing this was obviously Call of Duty. That, like, Activision was the stinker, and I'm like, Microsoft can come in, and they'd be like, okay, this is a good time to buy it. We get Call of Duty, we get Crash Bandicoot. Like, I think those are their biggest two right now. Obviously, there's Spyro, there's Skylanders. I think there's Guitar Hero in there. Like, there's some good ones in there, really. But there is a huge list of games. I'm currently looking at right now, there's Candy Crush for all the, I guess, moms out there. DJ Hero, Hearthstone. There's a lot of weird ones in here I've never heard of. There's True Crime, there's Reckless, there's Zork. Like, there's a lot of IPs they acquired from this. But I think the issue is people think immediately when they, like, oh, okay, so it's been acquired by Microsoft, they're going to do something with Skylanders. Just because they acquire Skylanders doesn't mean they're going to do anything with it, because, again, they have this huge catalogs of games, and they definitely did not buy it for Skylanders. It's just Skylanders is one of them that comes with it. But I've heard a lot of people, they've also been like, oh, well, if Skylanders gets a new game, is this going to be an Xbox exclusive? And I think people are worrying about the wrong thing, because obviously that's not going to happen. And again, like I said earlier, Microsoft is very good when it comes to like IPs and stuff like that recently. For example, Halo. Halo used to be their, that was Xbox's big flagship franchise. And recently they're just like, okay, here's the Master Chief Collection with all the old games, and here's Halo Infinite, and we're putting it on PC. Obviously, I don't think, obviously they're not going to put it on their direct competitor Sony, and I think Halo Infinite probably wouldn't run very well on the Switch. They could probably put the Master Chief Collection, but I don't think the Switch is the general audience for Halo, so that's probably why they didn't spend all the time porting it to there. But with Skylanders, if there was a new Skylander game, I'd absolutely see them putting it on all systems, because the thing is, they can sell more toys, they can sell more stuff, and even if they don't even do the toy route, it's It's a kid game, so it's better to put it on all systems because nobody's rushing out to the store to buy an Xbox for Skylanders. It's not a console seller. It's not a Halo, right? It's Skylanders. But the good news is, if they do make a new one, I can for sure guarantee it's gonna be on all platforms. Highly doubt that they would go out and say, okay, Skylanders Spyro's Adventure Remastered, but it's only on Xbox One and Xbox Series X. I think we for sure know that would not happen. But the main issue is what I'm getting at. Yes, Skylanders is in better hands right now. I mean, they also acquired all the first-party developers that make games like Call of Duty, and Call of Duty.
Of course you remember Zeke, Rufus, Jeep, Billy Bob, Billy Jim, Billy, Bo Billy, Banana Fanta Po Billy, Doug, Enos, Ted, Julio, Fletcher McGee, Rainchild, Zeke Jr.
Alright, I get it! I mean, come inside, make yourself at home.
But they also acquired Toys for Bob. They made the Spyro remaster. They made basically a majority of the Skylanders games except Swap Force and Superchargers. It's crazy for me to think, like, 343 is under the same roof. It's like Beanox, Toys for Bob, and Mojang. They're all owned by Microsoft now. Another big question is, currently one of Xbox's biggest, hottest things that they have right now is Game Pass. With them now owning Activision and all of its IPs, they can easily put things like Call of Duty, the Spyro Reunited trilogy, the Crash trilogy, and they can put them all on Game Pass, easy peasy. But where does that leave Skylanders? Honestly, when it comes to Game Pass, Skylanders is one of those games that it's definitely going to have to miss out on that Game Pass treatment, or at least currently, because there's only 4 Xbox One Skylander games in existence, being Swap Force Trap Team, Superchargers, Imaginators. But the only one that was released digitally was Superchargers, and honestly, I could see them keeping games like Guitar Hero and Skylanders off Game Pass, which require accessories, because I feel like for some consumers that may be a little bit confusing when they download it, and then it doesn't work. I would love to be wrong if Skylanders Superchargers shows up on Game Pass, but honestly, I don't think it's going to happen. Skylanders is in good hands when it comes to Microsoft. The problem is, will they actually use it? And I think that's what people need to realize, is they bought Activision and all of its IPs. They didn't just buy Activision and Skylanders. Because Skylanders is a game that hasn't gotten a sequel in quite some time, being the last one obviously in 2016. So I don't think the first thing you're going to be looking at is Skylanders. It's probably going to be more around the Call of Duty lines, Crash Bandicoot, maybe even Spyro. I don't know. But it's absolutely great that Microsoft has acquired Skylanders. It's a small light at the end of the tunnel. It's dim, right? But it's something. It's better than nothing, especially after the Ring of Heroes shutdown news. Well, even though I wasn't a big fan of the game, Skylanders officially died with that announcement. Like, in February, Skylanders is gonna die. And this is basically our only little hope. But again, I wouldn't get too attached to it. It's probably gonna be some time, a couple of years or something like that, until we get maybe a remaster announcement. And I guarantee, if they do this, it's probably going to be Toys for Bob on the project. I mean, like, Skylanders is Toys for Bob's child. That is their game. And from what we saw on the 10th anniversary, it really seems like they love making the game, and they would love to make another one. They genuinely sounded happy when making it. They would love to work on it again, from what it seemed like in those developer interviews. But, now it's up to Microsoft to call the shots. Will Microsoft be like, okay, go ahead with the Spyro's Adventure remaster, or are they gonna, they need to keep that Call of Duty train going, because Call of Duty makes a lot of money. I agree that Call of Duty's not my favorite game, especially modern Call of Duty. They bought Activision, they have Call of Duty, they're gonna be setting up for stuff for that. So don't expect anything from Skylanders for now, at least. But know that it's in better hands.
The transmission we received. What is it they've sent us?
Hope.